Welcome to Learning English with Common Ground International. I'm Misty Davidson. I'm an ESL teacher here, and I'm glad you decided to join us. Our lesson today is about linking sounds in English, how to connect words in spoken English, or how Americans really speak. Our objective, by the end of this lesson, you will recognize some differences between written and spoken English, and you will know how to link many sounds together, just the same way that native speakers of English do. How do English speakers really speak? English is often not pronounced the way it is written. You may have already noticed that. English speakers often link their words together with certain common patterns. Let's look at what we see and what we say. Here's an easy sentence. You see, do you want a cup of coffee? That's easy to read, easy to understand when it's spoken. But do Americans really pronounce it like this? Not really. You're going to hear, do you want a cup of coffee? And you may say, what? This isn't the way I learned it. Let's look at some common patterns that Americans use in linking their words together. First is CTV, consonant-to-vowel. The next is CTC, consonant-to-consonant. And the final one is VTV-Vowel to vowel. Let's look at each one. We'll look at each one individually. Let's look at the consonant-to-vowel pattern. The consonant-to-vowel pattern is the most common linking pattern in English. If the first word ends with a consonant sound, not a consonant itself, but a consonant sound, and the second word begins with a vowel sound, A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, we take the ending consonant from the first word, tack it on to the second word. We attach it to the second word. For example, you may read wake up, but an English speaker will say wake up. Let's look at some other examples of this pattern. You may see stop eating. The P is a consonant sound, the E is an eating sound, and an American will say stop peating. And I exaggerated that, stop eating is what they would really say. We may say see move over. An American will say move over. We may see come in. An American will say come in. We may go to the gym to work out, but an American will work out. We may think about the phrase my sister is. My sister is pretty. And we say my sister is. And is pronounced like a Z. My sister is. Okay, let's look at another common pattern, consonant-to-consonant pattern. When the first word ends with a consonant, and the second word begins with a consonant that has the same sound or nearly the first sound as what the first word ended with, it's really hard to pronounce those two consonants together. When this happens, we make them into only one consonant sound. Let's look at an example or two. Hot tea, that's awkward. I'd like some hot tea, please. So we just make it into one T sound, hot tea. I'd like some hot tea, please. Let's look at some others. Stop playing, we say stop playing. I have a pet turtle. Instead we say I have a pet turtle. Okay, here's a tricky one, move forward. We say move forward. Note that F and V are very similar sounds, so we treat them as if they're the same. Move forward. Iced tea. We say iced tea. The T and D are very similar sounds, so instead of saying I'd like iced tea, we say I'd like iced tea. And the last pattern we're going to talk about is VTV, vowel to vowel pattern. We use this pattern when the first word ends with a vowel sound and the second word begins with a vowel sound. When this happens, we add a very light, either an imaginary Y yut sound or an imaginary W sound to the second word. Let's talk about when we add the imaginary Y sound. When the first word ends with one of these sounds that you're going to see, and the second word begins with any vowel sound, we add a very light imaginary Y. For example, long I as in hide. If the first word ends with an I sound, instead of saying I answered, we say I answered. And I exaggerated that, I answered. You hear a very, very light Y sound. Some other examples where you add a Y sound. In the E sound, such as seed, if the word ends with E sound, he asked, you say he asked. Very light yut sound, he asked. In the sound A, such as day, stay in, you'll hear stay in. You hear the Y a little bit more there. Stay in, stay inside today. In the oi sound, such as boy, you don't say the boy is, you say the boy is, the boy is. Now here are the cases where you add a light W sound. If the first word begins with any of these sounds that I'm going to show you in a few minutes, and any vowel sound, we add an imaginary light W, such as a long O in go. We don't say go in, we say go in, go in. Other examples. Snow is cold, we say snow is cold. The oo sound, such as school. We don't say who is it, we say who is it. And notice that I took the z sound in is and I moved it over to the vowel sound that was a consonant-to-vowel link. So who is it? Note the consonant-to-vowel link. Rather than do it, we say do it. Do it right now. If we have the ow sound, such as how. How odd. We'd say how odd. How odd that it's snowing in July. How odd for it to snow in July. Okay, now we're going to talk about linking words or linking sounds or words with some what we call informal contractions. A contraction is joining two words together. English speakers shorten many words. Some short words that English speakers use can be made even shorter. Even if the word is short, English speakers can make them shorter. For example, you often becomes ya. Do you like hot dogs? Do becomes duh or d apostrophe. Do you like hot dogs? To can become t. I'm going to work. Some other informal contractions. You may have heard this. Going to becomes gonna. I'm gonna see a movie tonight. And notice I said see ya movie tonight. I put a little Y there. Want to or want a becomes wanna. Do you want to meet me for lunch? Do you want to meet me for lunch? Or do you want a hamburger or a hot dog? Do you want a hamburger or a hot dog? Have got to becomes gotta. I gotta do my laundry today. Means I really need to do my laundry today. I'm out of socks. Kind of or sort of, meaning a little bit, becomes kinda, sorta. And the word of is also often pronounced It's kinda hot today. It was sorta cold yesterday. Let me becomes lemme. Let me borrow $5, please. Give me becomes gimme. Give me a hamburger with fries and a Coke, please. What are you can become whatcha. What you doing today? I bet you. That means I'm really serious about this. Means betcha. I bet you it'll rain today. I'm really serious. It's gonna rain today. I bet you it'll rain today. Have to becomes have to. I have to pay my bills before I can watch TV. Okay, let's do some practice. You will see a sentence written the way an American would say it. Rewrite it in standard English. Okay, let's begin. It's snowing, so we have to stay inside. I'll give you a little bit of time. It's snowing, so we have to stay inside. Did everybody get that? I hope so. Let's go on. My brother's going to travel to Africa next week. My brother's going to travel to Africa next week. Okay, let's try another one. Do you want a bottle of water? If you said, do you want a bottle of water, you are correct. Number 4. My sister is a very fashionable dresser. If you have my sister is a very fashionable dresser, you are correct. Number 5. I don't like to attract attention. This may have been a little trickier. I don't like to attract attention. I hope you got that right. Next one. A Toyota may cost a bit more than a Chevy. A Toyota may cost a bit more than a Chevy. Okay, I hope you did well on those. Let's do some more practice. Now you will see a sentence written in standard English. Pronounce it. You don't have to write it, just pronounce it like an American. Ready? Fred wore a dark coat. How would an American actually say that? If you said Fred wore a dark coat, you're correct. Dark and coat have a cut sound, so it became one sound. And Fred wore a, the gets attached to the Fred wore a dark coat. Let's look at another one. I really like your outfit. I really like your outfit. Hey, very good. Number 3, how old is your daughter? If you said, how old is your daughter, you're correct. A silent imaginary W, not a silent, but a very light imaginary W next to old. How old is your daughter? Number 4, I love to drink hot tea with lemon. I love to drink hot tea with lemon. 2 is t, hot tea is 1 t sound. Number 5, I bet I'll finish my work before you. You can say, I betcha or betcha I'll finish my work before you. What are you going to give your mother for her birthday? What you gonna give to your mother for her birthday? Number 7, I've just got to see the new Star Wars movie. And if you said, I just got to see the new Star Wars movie, you are correct. Hey, to review, English speakers don't speak their language the way it is written. You already knew that. English speakers use several common patterns to link words. We have the CTV, the consonant-to-vowel, come on in, for come on in. We have the CTC, consonant-to-consonant, hot tea for hot tea. And we have the vowel-to-vowel, VTV, for I have a day off today, or a day off. Or go in, go in. English makes some short words even shorter. You can become ya, to is t, do is d, of is And English uses many informal contractions for many common expressions. For example, going to can become gonna. And there you have it. Linking words, how English speakers really speak. I hope you learned a lot today. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Learning English from Common Ground International. I'm Misty Davidson. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you and goodbye.